Yeah.
Because I have a feeling this could actually be important.
Yeah.
So I had been made aware of the Seth material years ago, right? Just years ago. I would say probably 10 to 12 years ago. And I didn't feel drawn to it. So I never even looked into it really. I mean, I knew it was somebody in the 60s or 70s that had channeled something.
Hmm.
And I just didn't feel drawn to it. So I never looked into it. And then when I met Lisa and her mom, they both apparently in the late 80s, early 90s, they found it and dove into it. And
Oh,
when I found it, that video you saw me post, so if anybody does watch this later, I posted something. And just to make it clear, if you don't see the post on Facebook, I actually saved it in my hashtag puzzle piece alert playlist
okay.
on the channel.
Okay.
You can find it easily. It's about an hour long video, and it sounds like, and I don't know if it's Jane Roberts reading this or if it's somebody else, but they're talking about the Seth material. And Lisa, and when I found it, I want to say yesterday morning early, and I told Lisa about it. I was maybe, I don't know, about 5 minutes in. And I had a nudge to ask her because I knew she had read all of it. And so I asked her about it, and she said, "Yeah, I read it." She said, "But I would love to watch that with you because I don't know that I took it in, right?" She and I have had lots of different conversations, and I now know for myself that if I'm exposed to something, it doesn't necessarily mean I understand it in the moment that I'm
Right.
exposed to it. And
Well,
this
and now
is
we're closer to the shift too, so I think it's going to land a little bit differently.
exactly, well,
Yeah.
like I said, I wasn't 5 minutes into the video and I said, "Oh my God, this is very much what Jason talks about,"
Hmm.
right? Only I now understand why I was drawn to it in the way that I was drawn to it yesterday, because what she says in this recording, she's very clear that what Seth was very clear about was that there would be a lot of misunderstanding, that people would think that they are here to experience the aftermath, if you will, of the shift, when in fact, they are here to generate it.
Oh,
Feel into
okay.
that for a moment. Yes, feel into that. And that feels smack on correct to me. If the medium that we live within is a medium that brings about the thinking, the feeling, the vibratory fields, then it would also stand to reason that somebody would have to generate what we really want to experience on this planet.
Hmm.
I, my whole field went OMG yesterday.
Right. So generating the good and the bad
Well, it's
is
going to
are
do that no matter what, okay?
some are
Because
generating like all this chaos and mayhem and just all this ridiculousness, and then some are generating the signal that's disrupting that.
the way I understood that video, and and I encourage everybody to go that feels drawn to go and listen to it for themselves, and then maybe we'll have a conversation about it in a big panel or something, but here's the way I understood it. We are in an evolutionary period on the planet. We have a consensus reality. And there was a consensus to experience things in a particular way. And it was settled. The architecture, now I'm going to use Jason's wording. The architecture was settled. That was what we were going to experience. We are in between one structural, settled way of doing things and something new.
Mm-hmm.
It and this makes perfect sense to me too as to why Lisa's guidance would be telling her, and I've noticed a lot of light workers were getting that same instruction. Maintain your fields.
Mm-hmm.
Stay with the vibratory thing that you want to see. Be the change.
Mm-hmm.
That because we are generating the change we wish to see.
Right.
There's still an awful lot of beings on the planet that don't get it, that don't understand, and they are producing a lot of chaos. And of course, all the rest of us experience that too, because this is still a consensus reality overall on the whole.
Mm-hmm.
However, it would seem to me that everywhere I look, there is there is still a lot of places where people think that there's a lot of chaos. That's partly because that's all we're shown on social media. However, I don't believe that to actually be true. I think that is an attempt to keep everybody feeling like, well, what in the hell's the point? We're going to
Mm-hmm.
hell in a handbasket. Might as well jump off the planet now,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm going to be honest with you, Julie. This is where I've been.
Right.
I've been feeling like, what's
Is
the
the point.
point?
Mm-hmm.
What is the point? People are
Yeah.
stupid. Nobody's getting it. And I'm about over it, right?
Yeah. Right.
I'm going to just be honest with you.
Yeah.
And it's been tough.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm still at 91, so I'm pretty good.
Good. Good. And
Even though
you've
I'm
been
getting a
pretty
little
passionate, so that's good.
and so, however, like I said, because of I don't know, but see, this is what I've meant when I have said that everybody has translators, right? There are things can be said in a particular way, a particular manner that
Mm-hmm.
actually makes it in through all the
The
other,
veil. Yeah.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
go ping, 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 ping. And this was one of them yesterday for me. It helped me, not that I wasn't getting Jason's work, because I do. His work has been hugely beneficial for me, but I wasn't being led for the last couple of weeks to do much of anything. And I got a little bit resistant and saying, I don't want to. I'm done with all this because it's just making me feel ick, and I don't want that.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm on my way off the planet, I'm going to make the last few weeks of my life happy. So I'll just stay in my room, have my own little, meltdown or whatever it is I think I'm doing,
Yeah.
and just be done with it, right? And then yesterday, I'm drawn to that. And it really pinged me in a way that I haven't been pinged in some time. And I'm so grateful for it, because it makes a lot of sense in a way that I hadn't actually, I mean, again, I've heard it, it made sense to me, but there was something in this and the way it was couched that it made it in through my own veil, if you will, right? Because I really do, I still feel like the veils we think are out there are not out there, they're in
No.
here.
Yeah.
And so,
They came in with us for a purpose so we would forget.
yeah,
So in listening to that video and it getting through the way it did that help with how you've been feeling? Did it make you feel a little bit more like, yes, there is still value in this, I can re-engage?
yes, it did.
Good,
Because
good.
because if it hadn't, I don't think I'd be sitting here chatting with you now.
Oh,
Because as you know, we were supposed to do this, what, 2 weeks ago? The first time I
last
that,
year. Well, yeah, I can't remember. Yeah,
yeah, I think so
I've been
because
going through it too.
I know that's what I'm saying. The first time I said, "Hey, kid, not really up to this," and then last week it was your turn to say, not
Yes,
too." But I,
that's
but
right.
listen, I was thinking about backing out before you, and I was grateful actually, so I didn't have to be the one. But I was going to be the one today if I didn't feel up to it because I'm not going to force myself to do stuff I don't want to do anymore. I don't
Mhm.
really think that I ever have, to be honest with you, forced myself to do things, but I really have been questioning what the hell I'm doing with this YouTube channel and why I think I'm doing it. You
So
know,
can I say something?
absolutely.
Because I get to those points also. So there are a couple of things I recognize in what you're saying. One of them is when I am getting ready to shift in kind of what feels like a big way for me, I have those moments where I feel like I just want to die. Like I don't want to do it anymore. Like I can't, I can't even, you know? And
It's a
but
scary
I've noticed
place.
the pattern with it. I've noticed the pattern with it, and it is when I'm getting ready for something to come through. And luckily, I had some clarity as far as what was happening, and it was trauma, that had to be released and recognized, and then tracked through everything that has impacted, and that takes a lot of work. It takes time. It takes honesty. And so that's part of what I've been experiencing. But luckily for me, there have been some videos that I've seen that talk about building, oh, tension. Like, let's say for a slingshot or a catapult or whatever. And you may be doing something like your YouTube channel, and you have all of this work that you have been doing all of this time, and you don't know where you are in the pullback. And so if you let go and you're just like, I'm out, then you may be sacrificing everything you have built at to that point. You've let go of all that momentum, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And that's what gets me to still do my videos every day, to still keep reading, keep searching, keep looking more at myself when I'm smart enough to. Not always, but I'm
I feel
getting
you
there.
on that. I do. I feel you on that. And I recognize what you said about the trauma because uh I've been moving through a bit of that of my own as well. Um I apparently have quite a bit, and I know that I am quite aware that my one and only child is a soul that I have danced with over and over and over again. And I knew that before I ever woke up to any kind of, because when he was a baby, I said on more than one occasion, I really think he was my father in a previous life.
Hmm.
Before I was ever into any of the spirituality, I said it to my great grandmother once, just because of the way he behaved, right? It was something that I felt. And so, yeah, there's, I feel there that he's moving through some of his own, and that of course affects me and our relationship or lack thereof, right? So over the over the last couple of weeks, I've been moving through some of that as well. I'm already over here thinking I'm not, what's the point? And
Mhm.
then when you think about, well, because I went through this with my parents as well. What's so wrong with me that my own parents don't want to have anything to do with me, right? I mean, I I had that feeling as a younger child with my mother, but then I also had that feeling with my father right up until, well, 2014, actually, when I got to spend some time with him and realized quite a bit that I was making assumptions about, right? So I recognize exactly what you're saying there in regards to, and I wonder, and I would love for folks to chime in the comments if they would, about if you too have been experiencing, because I feel as though that's exactly what's taking place. It's why we're seeing so much on the world stage as well. The shadow is becoming so loud. There's no place to run and hide. It's coming for us all to resolve.
Mhm.
Unresolved trauma is what creates, for me, from my perspective, all of the chaos, all of the suffering that we move through. And and it's up to each individual to see it. And I realize it won't be seen until that being is ready, I don't think.
Mhm. Oh, I agree. I thought I was looking at something, one way, and no, I was so wrong. I was so wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been there too. And to the point where I'm and that's the other thing this video about the set material said, that the beings that are here to generate the shift are beings who actually do have the capability, whether we believe it or not, we actually do have that capability to recognize that uncomfortableness as being able to hold differing perspectives at the same time, because that's
Hmm.
kind of what is happening, because it is that uncomfortableness that is actually causing us to generate the actual shift.
Hmm. It's part of the maturity. It's being able to say, um, I don't feel like doing what I need to do. I feel devastated and broken, but I'm doing it anyway. And to be able to hold both of those things and continue.
Right.
And not everybody can do that. Not
No.
everybody can, not collapse under that. And that's one of the biggest parts of integration, I think, and individuating, is being able to hold all of that and still go on.
Right. Well, and I just hang on maybe long enough, because this one felt like it was an inordinately long period of time for me. I Longer than any other I've been through. And I'm not quite clear if it's done yet. You know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
because I'm not certain I've seen all the trauma I need to see in order
Yeah.
to resolve it. And I
Right.
don't want to not see it, because not seeing it is what keeps it reasserting itself. If I don't see it in its fullness, when it rises to be seen. It has a, I prematurely, oh, okay, I fixed that. No, 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 no. Go along my little merry way. All the while that trauma is still there. Oh God, now I just saw an old witch with a
It sneaks up. Yeah.
cauldron bubbling and beneath the surface. Okay, I could have done with that without that little visual. But that's exactly what came for me, right?
Yeah.
It's still there bubbling beneath the surface, and one day it will, you know. So yeah, I'd rather take the time and see it all.
Yeah. There's
Or
a
at least
video
what
I
I'm
watched.
ready to. Yeah. Say
Go
what?
ahead. There's a video I watched a couple days ago about how nothing is real. And it was very interesting. And part of it was about memories and how they are snapshots and how when every time we access them, we change them. And when we tell somebody about that, their response to it overwrites the actual memory that we had, and it becomes a new version. And so the accuracy that we think we have of our memories is impossible to know.
Not
We
only
have the
that,
newest version. We have the newest version of what we think happened.
not only that, but I know for a fact, for an absolute fact, that the version of me that lives within the head of you and within the head of my son, within the head of Jason, within the head of Lisa, completely different version
Yeah, because of
than me.
rendering.
That's
Mm-hmm.
right. And
Mm-hmm.
and that version continues to interact with each one of those beings in their thoughts. And there's, it's just, I just know that's a truth. I don't know how to explain that, but I feel that so strongly because I know that my the version of my father that I had prior to my spending time with him, and I see it time and time again. I'll give you an example as to why and how it is that I see that time and time again. How many times I've seen different people on Facebook and different media, they go after the current president of the United States in ways that just amaze me. And I always think to myself, you've never met that man. You don't
Mm-hmm.
know anything about that man. All you know is what all of these other people have said. And how would you like it if somebody was out there talking smack about you? And
Mm-hmm.
that's how you were seen and held to believe is true. Nobody seems to stop and think about that.
Right.
And I refuse to to behave in that manner toward anyone. That's just so wrong on so many levels
Yeah.
that I always wonder about that. I see and hear these people. I they write these articles and all kinds of stuff. I'm like, I think to myself, excuse me, have you ever even met this person? Do
Mm-hmm.
you know for a fact that what you're speaking on is true? No, you don't. All you know is what this guy over here has said. And how do you know they don't hate his guts and telling you the wrong thing? You don't have a clue.
Yeah.
But it's a confirmation bias that everybody
Yeah.
buys into. And,
Yep.
and I wonder how much of that too. You see, that's because it just came from me. That also shows a lack of being able to hold more than one concept
Mm-hmm.
in a consciousness at a time. I can hear what everybody else has to say, but I'm gonna keep an open mind because I personally have never met that being, never been in their presence, have no clue as to what's true and what is not. And all of those people out there that continually do that, I don't know. I got a feeling that someday they're going to experience that very same thing, that there's going to be folks that are making up their mind about you without ever having met you. And exactly how fair is that? I just wonder about that. I wonder
Well,
about
we all do it. Like I have a version of you, and it's rendering. It's my experience laying over top of everything that, every interaction we have. You and I have had what, 5 videos now, but you're an entire person who lives their own completely separate life. So there's absolutely no way whatsoever that I can know who you are.
No,
And
that's
even
true.
your mom can't even know who you are. I mean,
That's
that's the
true.
point. That's the point. We all
But
do it.
don't you keep an open mind as to who I am so that or have you made up your mind as to who I am? You see, now that's the question, isn't it?
Right, that's the difference, is when people believe that their rendering is the actual person.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. That was in the video I watched. I kind of want to send you a link to it because
Please do.
it talked about everything that you're talking about right now. It talked about the rendering. It talked about shoot, I can't remember what you were saying before that, but that was in the video as well. But with the rendering, the one thing, the part that it got to that really surprised me that I wasn't expecting was when and it was Chase Hughes that created it, was when he said that version, he said the part about grief that nobody is talking about is that when that person dies, there is a version of you that dies with them because nobody else in the world knows that version of you. And that really hit me because that's, I felt that deeply, that there are some people that I have experiences with that I don't have with anybody else in the entire world, never have, probably never will. And when they pass, it's gone. Like that version is gone. And I don't know. I just thought that that was extremely profound when he said that. I was like, oh my gosh, that's
Well,
part of
I'll
it.
tell you something about that, what you just said there. For me, it immediately made me think of a book that we did in book club. And I actually recorded the book, and it's on the channel, Journey of Souls or Soul's Journey, one of the two. It's in the books playlist. Hmm. It has its own playlist because there's 11 chapters,
Mm.
but it's a pretty short book. It took place in the late 40s, but it was written in the 50s. And there's a spot in that book where it talks about what happens after death because, energy can neither be created nor destroyed. It simply moves in and out of form.
Mhm.
And so he was given a glimpse as to he had lost his brother. This took place during World War II. And his younger brother was shot down. He was a Royal Air Force pilot and he was shot down. And he was railing against God and whatnot for having taken his baby brother because he was such a good soul. And a teacher appeared and took him on these adventures, showed him some things.
Like a
And
spiritual teacher.
yeah, and uh, helped him leave his body at night, basically. And he actually got to talk to his brother.
Mm.
And what he discovered about grief is that according to this book, when we grieve, those souls are sort of tied to us because it's like pulling their energy to us. And they would much rather move through the grief and move along because then they can be free to move along as well. And so for me, now those are my own words, what I understood from it, but it's certainly worth checking out for anybody who's. I really enjoyed it because it actually showed me the fact that I've always felt like we are moving through a period of evolution, which is what, again, the Seth material seemed to point to the same for me. And this book actually spoke to that for me. It showed very clearly the stages of evolution, what each soul moves through before they actually become human, and how, what those, what, I don't know, what the afterlife is actually like. And it is a very subjective thing because even according to the book, um, what the beliefs are, is what you experience afterwards. So it's very interesting.
That's what I think. I think it's what we believe. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yep, because it is it is it's all very subjective. It's all um our experiences. The whole thing is the whole point of all of it is the experience and the evolution of consciousness as a whole, which again speaks to this whole shift because we are moving from one kind or way of thinking, feeling, being, experiencing to another. And so everything is in this flux at the moment. But it was just so interesting to me in regards to the fact. It just spoke to me in regards to the RZN series that Jason wrote, and how, for me, what that seemed to echo is another way of saying we're actually here to bring it about. I don't know, very interesting. And it did a lot for my inner, I guess it was time too, because it I wouldn't have understood any of that if I hadn't had Jason's essays on board. I don't think.
Yeah.
So it shows me again how by just relaxing into myself, even when I get frustrated that, 2 weeks go by and I feel like crap and I don't want to do anything and all of that, but just it's okay. It's all a part of the process.
Yeah.
Well, it was very sweet of you to check in on me. Jason did the same, by the way. He actually reached out to me last night, but I had a hard time staying awake after that video. That's something I notice. I integrate best when when I notice gotta go to bed now.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. Some things just make me really, really tired. The last full moon made me like that the whole week. I think it was another super moon. I can't remember, but I had read something about it, and a lot of times I try not to even read that because it potentially will influence my experience of something, So there's not a whole lot of stuff that I'll expose myself to these days because I want things to be as they are. But um, I read something about the full moon being a super moon, and then sure as the world, it kicked my ass. All I wanted to do was sleep.
Well, that's very interesting too, because I said to you, I've been avoiding everything myself, right? And I don't really have the impetus as to why. But I was nudged yesterday to look at some of my emails, and I happened to notice, and I am going to go back and look at it and possibly record it. Apparently, there's been some movement with Chiron, and Chiron being the planet of the wounded healer. I have to wonder if there's something specific that I don't know because I just saw the title and it pinged me. So, but it's an older email, so like I don't know, 2 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks old. Um, so I'm anxious to go and see, because
Mhm.
after the fact is even more interesting than before the fact. If I've experienced thus and such, right?
Mhm.
Is almost every single time. I had to get a new phone number this week, which, by the way, took me all week, 2 trips to Verizon, 9 customer service reps,
Oh
and
my gosh.
still not everything set up right. I'm sorry, anybody who thinks that this is all great and whatever, wrong. While I was at Verizon corporate store, because the first store I went to, even though I waited for 45 minutes for somebody to help me, they couldn't help me. I had to go home because that wasn't a corporate store. Now, how am I to know? It says Verizon on the outside. This is
That's happened to me before. Yeah.
so the moral of that story is call before and find out if your local neighborhood store is a corporate or not, because they can't help you
Hmm.
for certain things, which was dumb because it was, at any rate. So I had to go to a corporate store. And while I was there, they were experiencing, it took me almost 2 hours in the store. Come to find out, oh yeah, there'd been another CME from the sun. All the, it because that absolutely does do something to the electronics.
Hmm.
And so that of course makes everything that much more difficult.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was your energy when you said that. I was like, oh, it's Sheila's energy. You
Well,
blast it out.
that has happened before too.
Yeah,
But in this particular, and maybe that is what was with the 9. I'm sorry, but it's just
that's
so
crazy.
ridiculous. No, you're right. It is so ridiculous. All just trying. That's the only reason I got a brand new phone number was because it was so ridiculous trying to port the number over, and it was Verizon to Verizon. That was all I was trying to do.
Hmm.
Oh no. By day 3 and customer service rep, oh, I don't know, 5 or 6. By the time I got to the Verizon store, I'm like, just give me a new number. Let's just give me a new number. Nobody ever calls me anyway. Let's just have a new number and maybe we can cut through some of this. And that was on Wednesday, mind you. Today is Sunday. And there's stuff unresolved that I might have to go back to the corporate store, because you only get certain uh, discounts and whatever if you have the auto pay and if you have the paperless billing. And well, if it won't take your method of payment, because apparently if you don't have a Verizon Visa or hook up your own bank account, you don't get that $10 a month credit. My Visa debit card apparently wasn't good enough. I had to agree to have a Verizon debit. What a racket.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Either that or I have to hook up my actual bank account. I'm like, don't you get, and what if there's a breach? Now they got my damn bank account number. What the hell?
Well, what's the difference between your debit card, which is connected to your bank, and your bank account?
Um, Protection.
See? No, not for you. I'm saying for them. Why wouldn't
No,
they be able to
exactly.
accept that? That's
No,
ridiculous.
exactly correct. No, it is ridiculous unless you're trying to get people to be take the Verizon Visa,
Hmm.
which is what they are doing.
Well, of course they are. Yeah.
Which, and I'm like, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. I mean, I'm an old lady on Social Security. I need
Hmm.
every little $10 discount I can get.
Hmm.
And now I got to risk my bank account or take your Verizon Visa, which I know I wouldn't, I don't have any credit. So they're not going to give that to me.
Yeah.
Redonkulous. I That's okay. That is okay. I'll go ahead. I'm protected. I'll do it. No big deal. But see, I just know with uh if it that was why I was trying to do it with my debit card because you're protected that way. If somebody goes in there and drains your account, you're protected. But I don't know if you got your bank account, set up there, whether that is or not. Now, luckily, I do business with a credit union, and I've never had any trouble with my credit union. So, hopefully, I wouldn't have
Hmm.
trouble if something like that happened. But
Yeah, usually the credit unions will keep a pretty close eye on it because I know my mom tried to purchase something on Amazon recently and her credit union denied it. And it's like they're hardcore for fraud alerts. So,
well,
yeah,
personally, I'm glad of that because, when all you got to work with is $1,600 a month, that doesn't leave a lot left over.
right.
And
Yeah.
I pay my rent and my utilities and everything that I can in advance. So that's all out of the way. So if the
Yeah.
rest of it got drained, I'm just, poop out of luck till the next time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I'm going to use this opportunity to tell folks. There is in the show more section of this video, in the description, there's a way that you can help me. I need glasses, and my glasses are anywhere from $600 to $800. And you want to help me? I would gratefully accept all gifts that if you find any of what I've done valuable to you, that would be lovely. I have about $100 in my savings account from folks who have seen other videos and have contributed. Thank you ever so kindly. Some of them have been anonymous, so I haven't been able to say thank you in any other way but here. But yeah, I'm gonna start saying that because it's getting to the point where I can't read very well. So
Hmm.
yeah,
I
so
was wondering how you were doing with that because there have been a couple times where I'm like, I need to send Sheila money for glasses. And I was like, I'll get sidetracked. So it is coming. Don't worry. I was
oh
thinking
well,
about it again
sweetheart.
today. I
Well,
was
you're
thinking,
you're so sweet, and I appreciate you so much. You just don't know everybody, anyone and everyone who has ever contributed to this endeavor here. I've been so grateful. Once upon a time, back when it was Conscious Conversation Central, I had a viewer who made sure that a dream that I felt, a vision actually, that I felt, and it still may come to pass. I don't know. We'll have to see. Uh, Saw to it that I didn't have a vehicle, and he came into a bit of an inheritance and he sent me a check for $15,000 and I was able to purchase my transportation. And I was supposed to be able to make it into a camper. And those that have been following me for a while will know, unfortunately, during COVID, I I took a chance on some folks because I was nudged to, but I did know that it was an opportunity for these folks to rise to an occasion, and unfortunately, they did not. And so it didn't come to pass that the work didn't get done. So I didn't get to actually have it made into a camper. And
Mm.
I mean, my bed is in there. I have a bed in there. All my camping accoutrements are in there. But the build out that they were supposed to do didn't happen. And they actually broke my seat, my driver's seat.
Oh man.
Yeah, and actually they knew they'd done it and tried to hide it as well. So yeah, that's unfortunate. What are you gonna do? So
And you're not resentful about it. And that's the amazing piece about it. So,
no, I'm not because it was an experience, and I had a nudge to go with these folks, but I did know that they were having a bit of a hard time. And my own inner guidance said this was an opportunity for them. And I went ahead with it, knowing that I was offering an opportunity to rise to the occasion. For whatever reasons, they chose not to.
mhm,
And their business that they had started to do that didn't make it. And I personally feel like that was punishment enough. I didn't need to pile on anymore. And I also felt like, obviously, if it didn't happen, it wasn't meant to, at least not at that juncture.
mhm,
So, yeah, there, and I also learned a very valuable lesson. We didn't put things in writing. Had I put things in writing, I would have had a recourse, but I did not do that. Again, there was an opportunity there for everyone to rise to the occasion of how we want things to manifest in this new energy, right? And it just didn't happen.
mhm.
So, but that's okay. Like I said, I brought that about on my own. I freely entered into that situation knowing what I was doing. And I won't make that sort of mistake again. I can tell you that,
Mhm. Well, that's why we learn. Yeah.
right? Exactly.
Yeah.
Um, but the vehicle itself is a really good vehicle. It was 2003. She named herself because I heard it very clearly. Candy Girl is her name, and so
Mhm.
I still have her. She's still here. Um,
What was your vision for having the car transferred into like a camper and stuff? What were you going to do?
my guidance was that it was to be a rolling studio so that I could go different places and meet folks and
That's
do
cool.
conscious conversation central on the
On
road.
the road. Ah, that
Yeah.
sounds so fun, Sheila.
Well, I know. And because of the kind of things that I do, my crafts and whatnot that I do, it was to um, also house all of that so that, in the evening times I could make my little tchotchke things and
Mhm,
offer them as gifts.
mhm.
Um, and of course, say, hey, if you want to kick me a little something for gas, that would be lovely. And here you go. Um,
Right.
not charging for anything because these things are, I do it because, now, again, I say I do it. I haven't done it in quite some time because I will not do any of my crafting unless I feel joy because
Mhm.
that I'm convinced that what we do is infused with the energy that we are holding in those moments.
Yeah.
If I am fraught with uh, confusion, I don't want something I'm working on to absorb all of that and then be gifted to you. I want myself to be clear and I want myself to be in, well, that's actually what my instruction was when I started it. Um, and I can tell you that it's the most joyful thing when I'm nudged to offer a gift to someone, to see their faces and feel how they feel.
Hmm.
That in itself is payment enough for me. Um,
Hmm.
because I do, like this,
Oh, that's
this
cute.
is the cover for my AirPods. Or
Oh,
yeah, I mean,
yeah.
so I do all kinds of stuff like that,
Hmm.
just whatever I feel nudged to do. And what's so interesting, what I've noticed over the years, I as I'm nudged to do something in particular, someone appears that that particular gift is the perfect thing for them. My housemate Lisa was going to be traveling to Virginia, where she moved here from, to visit with the young woman and her family that she was nanny for when she was a infant. And she is now having children of her own. And her oldest was turning, I want to say 6 or something. And when Lisa had gone once before, I felt nudged to send some of my little crochet animals, right, for the children. Well, she was going there to be there specifically for the oldest one's birthday. And I got a flash that it was time to send a jellyfish. And I got a flash that it was to be blue. So I crocheted a blue jellyfish and I sent it with Lisa as a gift from me. When Lisa arrived, she arrived just in time to go to the bus stop with the child's mom to get her off the bus. And she stood there in a white t-shirt with a blue jellyfish on her shirt when she first saw Lisa. Imagine her joy, because I could feel it. I can still feel it when
Yeah.
Lisa presented her with a blue jellyfish, and her mom said she's really into jellyfish right now.
Wow.
Okay, now I have carried that story right here,
Hmm.
which is why I will not do any of my little crafty things unless I'm in that space.
Yeah.
And but I have been feeling very drawn to getting back to that. And so, wow, I can't thank you enough for actually coming here today because I feel like you've broken the spell in some sort of way.
I think it's when our signals combine, yeah, we can do great things.
Oh, I really feel that because this has
Hmm.
been so lovely for me. I can't even tell you
Oh.
what it means to me. Well, and we're gonna do, I hope we're gonna do more videos with you about your work because you're an actual artist. I just tinker, but
It's
um
all art. It's all art.
well,
Sheila,
and
don't
I
judge it.
realize that's true.
Don't judge it.
I realize that that's true because I actually one of the kinds of art that I was doing once upon a time, I stopped doing it. Well, mostly because there didn't seem to be any call for it. I was offering it, but nobody was really, asking for it, so I just stopped offering it. Um, I wanted to have someone say, I would love for you to do a piece of art for me, because what I was nudged to do was to sit and feel into that person, just like I do with readings whenever I was doing my uh, intuitive hangout sessions. I would spend time feeling into the person, thinking about the person, and just create whatever came to me. I had purchased, I still have them. They're canvas boards. I
Mhm.
don't know, they're probably 4 by 6, I want to say, canvas boards. And it's like I was nudged to do a background of different colors on them. One day I had my whole bed covered in, because see, this was over at the other place and I had no real room to do anything.
Mhm.
So I made my bed, uh, I covered it with trash bags and I set out the canvases and whatever colors I was nudged to paint as background on each, I just felt into it and went with whatever the feeling came. And that was so much fun. I'm not going to lie. And I think I have them in here. I'd love to show you.
Yeah, let me see what I'm curious because I've done a lot of work that to me looks like background. And I think it's because what we are perceiving is consciousness.
I
And
think you're
so
right.
the human eye wants to be drawn to an object. Whereas when we see consciousness, it doesn't look like it's what's before, so it doesn't look like an object or it just is. And so a lot of people didn't understand it. And I was like, okay, well, these aren't going to sell because nobody gets it. But I didn't even know at the time what I was painting, but I think I know what you're saying. And I have a feeling I know what it's going to look like.
Well, what these are, I also had been nudged um to create my own oracle deck. I I was actually, that's what happened when I talked to Crystal and
Mhm.
said, because she had the most beautiful artwork that she was doing with her light language.
Mhm.
And so I mentioned to her about creating, and the next thing I know, she had a deck. Boy, she was on it. She was the first person as a projector that I had ever, and she's a projector too, that I had ever give an idea to. And before I knew it, she had it all done and ready. Most folks, whenever I mention something to them, they're like, never mind. I'm not interested, you know. But anyway, so I got this impetus thinking I was going to create a deck. So I bought blank cards and I
Yep.
started just, I don't know, painting whatever in whatever colors. There's some of them have multiple colors. And then what I was doing, I was doing the same sort of thing with the canvases. And
That's exactly the kind of stuff I'm talking about, Sheila. I know
yeah,
what it is. It's energy, it's consciousness, it's
I
what we
think you're
perceive,
right.
it's what part of us remembers.
I think you are so smack on. So I did a whole bunch of these, and I did a whole bunch of those canvas boards. That's what they are called, canvas boards. Um, and these I even did multiple sides, right? And what I noticed, okay, so I feel like a being tried to show itself to me in this one.
Yep. Your art is very similar to mine, Sheila.
Right? I and so what I was nudged, and I'm going to do it again here. If you feel to gift me so that I can purchase my glasses, make sure to reach out to me at Conscious Conversation Central if you want one and give me your address, and I will either on this, you can specify if you want it as a card or as the little canvas board. The only thing I ask is your gift be enough to include the shipping. It doesn't have to be, if you just want to experience it, you don't have to. And I'm not saying you have to do that in order to get one of these to give me glass money. You don't have to do that. If you want to experience it, I still love the idea of doing this as, just a try, let me feel into a person's field. And if you want the card, I got a bunch of stamps. You don't got to do anything. Just let me know who you are and know that I will connect with your field. And then I will do the art that I feel moved to do. And I will include what I was feeling, any kind of thing that came in, very similar to my intuitive hangout sessions. That was what I was doing before when this channel was Corona Rising Tarot. I offered and may no, because that one was taken down. See, that's just it. My not allowed to do certain things because I think it's a frequency thing. They'll take you down if you're not,
I love that.
Isn't that interesting? I really
It
do
is.
feel like that's a being trying to show itself. I don't have it in here, but I had done, like I said, I'd done the same thing to the canvas boards. And then I was nudged to take, I had sketch pencils, and I was nudged to take a sketch pencil and start sketching. And all at once, I turned it another way around. I didn't really see anything what I was doing, but I picked it up and was showing it on camera. And all at once I saw I saw the being that I was sketching, not realizing I was sketching it.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely extraterrestrial,
Mm-hmm.
definitely in that drawing. And I feel as though it, and right now even I can't get away from it. I feel as though it's another incidence of me. Um, whether it's past, future, because I really do think things are concurrent. Because I wasn't thinking about anybody, I wasn't connecting with anybody at that point. I was just mindlessly sketching.
Yeah,
And
Jason had a post this past week about oops, I don't know if I touched my microphone. About us in 6026, so 4,000 years into the future, and how that version of us exists. To them, we never left. So yes, we are there. We are here at the same time. And when we have those slippages of this illusion and we can kind of see a little bit of that other aspect of ourselves, that's part of it. It's because we've always been them. We are still them. We have projected our consciousness into these bodies. I still don't know what a body is, honestly, because I've had moments where my body didn't exist and I watched myself project it just because I was like, well, what do I do if I just continue to observe? How long does this last? At what point? Like, what happens if I don't project the body, So it was just interesting to me. But anyway, so yeah, somehow we have projected our consciousness into these bodies and we're doing what we're doing here because we're carrying our signal here, but we are also there all at the same time.
Yeah, I really, for the longest time, even before I became a BQH practitioner, I felt as though, and it was a bit maddening to some when we would have conversations. I remember I got started doing this by facilitating something called the campfire chat. And I said all the time, we call it past lives because we think of this existence as linear. You're born, you live, you die, you age, right? And but I've always been convinced that I think it's concurrent. And then having a BQH session for the first time, I did my first one with Crystal. That's how I met Crystal Hempill. Um, I I was actually there experiencing myself as these other concurrences. And so that's just strengthened over time. And then the movie, what is that? Everything Everywhere All at Once came out. And also, I've been made to know that there's a whole string of things about the multiverse in the Marvel universe, which
Mhm.
I'm convinced that's just, everything entertainment is showing us the truth of things, and people think they're telling a story from
Yeah,
imagination, but in fact, um, it's truth.
like the Truman Show and the Matrix and
Right? Yes,
yeah. Mhm.
absolutely. Blacklist is another one.
Oh my gosh. Yes. Oh my, I love that show so much. I watched every season.
We did too. We did too.
Yep.
And Blind Spot. Have you seen that one?
No.
Find it. Find it because that's a very, very telling of what is happening right now.
Okay.
Right now.
Hmm.
I, I've been a conspiracy theorist long before I was into the spiritual stuff. And I had this friend here locally, who used to, when we would get together, she would say, okay, we're not talking about conspiracy theories tonight. We're not doing that. We're here to do whatever else, right? All of us, she's the one that turned me on to that one. And it's because she'd heard some of those concepts.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
said, oh my God, you got to see this.
Yeah. Do you know where the term conspiracy theory came from?
I do. I
The
do.
CIA.
Now, yes, that COINTELPRO, it coined it way back, way
Yeah.
back. They started it a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yes, I do know. Well, and see, this is why I know that I'm here to help to generate this change. Um, one of the biggest, I'm going to say perpetrators of things was Harry S. Truman, my ancestor.
Because.
No,
Oh, okay.
he's my ancestor.
Yeah.
Right, we're related. And so I just know with all of me that, that is part of the reason I am here doing what I am doing. Lisa and I used to have these kinds of conversations a long time ago too. In order to clean it up, there's a whole but and actually this was brought forward in the Yeshua channelings, also on this channel in its own playlist. The Yeshua channelings, I I recorded that, I don't know, probably 2 or 3 years ago. And in this, it actually speaks to anyone who is here that feels that they are involved in the expansion of consciousness or bringing about this change needs to understand you caused what's going on in the first place. And you're in your own evolution of consciousness, you are now here to set it right. As, I don't know, a way of making things right because we have expanded our consciousness and we now see that what we did by, I don't know, splicing the DNA of the beings on this planet and enslaving people and things like that wasn't right. Boy, that rang so true to me, I couldn't even.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, very, very, I think very telling about, what's going on here.
You're talking about the show Blind Spot still?
Um, in a way, yes, because
Okay.
blind spot actually is talking about, I think, um, when I say about what's going on, I'm talking about on the world stage.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking,
I don't watch it.
yeah. No, I realize, but being a conspiracy theorist from way back, I'm aware that this country actually has been under siege for a lot of years, longer than we think. I don't know that it wasn't even before Kennedy was killed, but that was one of the more overt actions. And a lot of folks feel like that was the coup because it was an inside job. And everything that has taken place uh, has gone towards bringing that even more to the fore. And so the show Blind Spot speaks to the efforts that are being made right now to wrestle it back out of the hands of the traders who have done what they've done, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what all is happening with that. I do that one, the blind spot, also Night Agent. I feel that's it. That's one on Netflix. At
I
least some of
started to watch that. Mm-hmm.
I wherever I feel nudged to take a look at an entertainment vehicle, I now know it's because I'm being led to see some things.
Mm-hmm.
And a long time ago, when I first found, you know who David Wilcock is, right?
Yeah.
Most people
Yeah.
do. A long time ago, when I first found him, he talked about this time that there would be hours and hours and hours of television telling the truth. And I think he's right, but I think it's happening right now. And it's been happening under the guise of entertainment. Even the writers who are writing some of this may not realize the truth that they are telling because again, like I said, they may just think this is their imagination.
That's an interesting way to look at it. I had not thought of it that way. Yeah.
If you begin to take a look at entertainment through that lens, for
Hmm.
me, you can clearly see, I can
Hmm.
very clearly see that those who are writing these things, because where does imagination come from?
Right. They pull it out of the field.
Right.
Yeah. Hmm.
And so I can see very clearly when you think about, okay, so you've watched every season of Blacklist. Can you
Hmm.
not see what's going on the world stage in a different viewpoint?
Right. Yeah.
I sure can.
Yeah.
And Blind Spot is another one to me, and Night Agent actually is another one that actually are very close to the so close to the exact thing about what's happening right now. It's really eerie to me, especially that Night Agent.
I only watched like the first season of it maybe. So it was a while ago.
Yeah, it gets pretty wild if you ask me. Stay with it if you can, because that last season really, especially when viewed towards the lens of what is the field trying to inform me of? Because I keep being shown that the field endeavors to communicate with me everywhere I look. So if I am nudged to look over here, if I keep my aperture open to say, okay, what you got to show me? And just take it all in, boy, oh boy, am I seeing some things from a different way.
What your own higher self has to show you.
Mhm.
Okay, I think that's the difference. Yeah, because I think that's in some ways, if you're just turning on the television just to see what's there, that's a whole different thing than asking your higher self or consciousness to show you what you need to see right now,
Exactly. And
which is
that's
what
what I
I do.
do.
When I open YouTube, I'm like, show me what I need to see right now. And it
Exactly.
does. It works.
Yes. Yes. And ever since actually Blacklist, when, see, Lisa hadn't seen Blacklist, there was so much of what I came up watching, right, before I stopped watching television. Ah, big science fiction fan. Read every science fiction book I could get my hands on, watched
Mhm.
all the science fiction shows.
Yeah.
Then I started asking myself questions about some of that. And that's what I was getting, was that uh, these things are more than what you think. And so then I asked Lisa if she would like to join me in this, because I'm being nudged to revisit this with my more expanded consciousness. How does that feel to you? And she got a yes too. And so we both, as we have looked at different things over the years, and we cannot not unsee, as we're watching these things, different things unfolding that we just heard, that we just saw. I'll give you an example. The gal who played Blossom, she also played Amy Farrah Fowler. She has her own podcast called Mia
Maim. Yeah. Bialik. Yeah.
Right
Hmm.
Breakdown. I was nudged to tune into a two-part podcast she'd done just recently with Chris Bledsoe. He's from North Carolina. And I'd heard of him before, but I wasn't really nudged to delve into him. But when I saw him on her podcast, for some reason, I got nudged to listen to it. So Lisa and I listened to both episodes, and I found it very interesting, very telling about a lot of different things. And then one of the things that we've been led to look at is all the Star Trek in chronological order, believe it or not. We are right now on Deep Space Nine, right? We watched that Bledsoe thing yesterday, day before yesterday, which would be Friday. Friday night, we're watching Deep Space Nine. No, not Deep Space Nine. We're watching The Next Generation. We're watching The Next Generation, and the very first one that we're looking at, the way that he describes this being that has been showing itself to him was in that episode. He describes a being that appears as a ball of flame. And
Hmm.
I kid you not, that was in the episode that we watched that night. Now, I can't unsee that kind of thing. And he goes on to say in that episode how he can sometimes see this flame, this ball of flame in the crown chakra area of beings that he's looking at.
Hmm.
And I don't know. I don't know exactly what it means or the why, but that is clearly to me, again, how my larger self is directing what I see, what I look at, what I'm nudged to partake in,
Mm-hmm.
and and why I just keep plodding along like that. I don't always understand it in the moment, but that's okay. I know that eventually I will.
Yeah.
And it could be that I'm being shown that because perhaps I'm going to begin seeing that. Could be. And then maybe I'll understand what it is I'm seeing.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Very
Yeah.
interesting to me. Because right now, as I'm looking at you, I honestly I feel like I'm seeing um sort of a, you know how in paintings you see this halo behind the mother and Christ and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I swear I'm seeing one. Just very light. It's not, it's,
I
and
think isn't that the aura?
I guess, yeah. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you, again, you couldn't prove it by me. I'm looking at
Do you
myself.
see auras normally?
No, I don't. I don't see it around myself, but
I
I
don't
do
know. I
see
don't
it.
see it.
I don't know. It's very interesting. It could be because I've been looking at you nonstop, but which would make sense. And that does make sense because I've heard of folks what they do when they're trying to teach themselves to see auras. They look at something like, or a person or whatever, up against a white background.
Yeah, slightly out of focus. They let their eyes go slightly out of focus, and then they kind of, if
Right.
the background is lighter like this, yeah, you can see it a
Yeah.
little bit easier, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm looking at your face, I see a little something.
Hmm.
But it's just right now, all I see is around the head. I don't see it around anywhere else. That's just very interesting. And maybe that is exactly the reason.
Yeah, maybe it's your vision.
Yeah.
Maybe
Okay.
those glasses are hindering you,
Well,
and your real eyesight is coming online.
you might not be wrong. Let's see. Of course, I don't want to stumble around and not because really I don't.
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I should stop saying that. Because I was about to say I don't see well without them, right? But I got to stop saying that because I'm just making that the truth of it.
Mhm.
Well, it's still there,
Hmm. Okay.
which,
So it's
yeah.
safe to wear glasses then.
Well, definitely you look fuzzy now because, without the glasses,
Yeah.
I don't, and because the glasses aren't that great anymore, you're not as in focus as you could be otherwise.
Mhm.
Now but see, I also have a vertical imbalance in my eyes, and so there are actually two of you.
Oh, okay.
Right? Yeah, no,
So they both have the ring.
yes. Yes, as a matter of fact. My glasses have a prism in them, ostensibly to force my eyes to be more,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
that increases the price too, I'm sure. Yeah.
Oh yes, yes it
Yeah.
does. I I've worn glasses since I was 2.
Mhm.
I guess I must have been stumbling around or something. Because how do
Yeah.
you know that
How do
it's
you
real?
yeah, how do you tell? Yeah.
Yeah, yep. So yeah, I got pictures of me in these teeny tiny little horn rim because it was the 60s.
Yeah. Yeah.
But blue is my favorite color all the way back there because I remember my first pair was blue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
That's cute.
So tell me, with what you've been moving through, you been working on anything?
I am. I'm still in the keys series. So folks who don't know, I'm painting the 33 keys that Jason Gray wrote. And so I was cooking right along. I'm working on key 13. Key 13 was the first one that came in as a full download for me. All the previous ones came in as I would see a layer or whatever. This one came in fully downloaded. I could see every layer of it, of what it was supposed to look like, and I could see the finished product all at the same time.
Wow.
And so I created it, to your point, not in the best headspace at the time, probably. Probably in the headspace of I'm going to paint because that is something that I can do that can bring me joy. And not necessarily in the headspace of this is a good time to channel this. And so I finished it up and it's over here to my right. I'm looking at it right now because I'm in my studio. And I'm like, it's just not, it doesn't feel like the others to me. It doesn't feel quite right. And so I talked with AI about it because I've been working with AI on decoding Jason's, not decoding his transmission, they are what they are, but decoding my interpretation through paint of his transmissions. And so I've been adding that layer of it. So I talked with AI about it and I'm like, it doesn't feel right. I don't, it's, this is what I saw. I don't understand. And so it's like AI said, Julie, I think your struggle that you're having with it is that you haven't yet gotten to the mindset of the finished product of the painting. And that's what you're not fully comprehending yet. Because if it came in as a full download, essentially, then either you're not trusting that or you haven't lived that yet. And so, but I'm still like, no, I still think it needs changed in some way. So probably I've shifted, which is fine. We all shift and change. So anyway, yeah. So I'm on number 13. And I'll tell you, it's 12 and 13 have been the hardest for me out of the whole series. Like some of them like came through so easily. I got to a point with them where I was like, yes, this is finished. It's encoded. I feel tremendously grateful and I'm in love with it. And now I get to 12 and 13 and I'm like, what the hell? Like, what the hell? Why do I feel like I'm fighting at this point? So yeah, I'm having a moment with it, but it's still progressing. So I'm still with it. Yeah. and excited about it. And I do want to show some of them because I want to start talking about, not today, I probably won't show them today because I have to run here in about 10 minutes, but um, I do want to start talking about them and show a few of them so that it creates interest because I am going to do a full exhibit with all 33 of them together with Jason's transmissions as an experience, as an immersive, so still working through exactly what that looks like, but
Well, it's so
um
interesting you should say that because before you actually said that, when I asked you about it, I got a visual in my head. You had asked me about candy, and I told you what it was for, and I saw me coming to you and filming something to do with that series. Now, I, I don't know that.
that would be awesome.
I don't even know if that would be possible, but I'll never say never. And, the whole idea behind Candy was that it would be a rolling bedroom, and she's nowhere near that. And of course, unfortunately, I don't see the whole idea too was for, once that fell through with having the work done and paying for the work to be done, the idea was for me to assist whomever, because I knew I couldn't do it on my own. I don't have the tools, I don't have the know-how, all of that sort of thing. Um, so like I said, I don't even know how that would work, but that's all right. I don't have to know. If it presents, it presents. Because like I said, the whole thing was so that that would be a rolling studio type situation for just this sort of thing.
Yeah.
So
Well, maybe that's your video because I do listen to your videos as I'm painting also, because a lot of times that helps give me the visuals. And so, yeah, when I'm ready to start one, I'll reread the transmission. I'll watch your video that you recorded for it. And then I'll start. Usually by that time I've had a concept for it. So
I gotcha.
so yeah. So yeah, you should definitely be there.
I want to be. I absolutely, especially after getting that visual,
Yeah.
and so there is apparently an instance where I am. So we'll just see if
Good.
that instance is one that I get to partake in. This consciousness gets
Yeah.
taken.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I would love that. I How far away are you from Dayton?
From Dayton? Maybe a little over an hour. It's not that far. You were born in Dayton, right?
Well, I was born at Wright Pat, which
Right,
is
Pat.
outside of Dayton.
So let me look. I think it's maybe an hour or so.
Yeah,
Let me
I
see.
have an aunt that lives I'm not quite
Hour and
exact,
38 minutes.
yeah, I'm not exactly quite clear exactly where she lives, but I also think, and I'm not going to say the name of the town you're in, but I have a feeling that I have some relatives that live in that town that you're.
Oh, really?
I have a
Okay.
feeling because this is a part of the family that they know of me, but um we didn't grow up together, and matter of fact, there was a bit of jealousy towards the end of my great grandmother's life. All of her grandchildren, they would be her grandchildren. I was her first great grand. All of her grandchildren, my mother included, were contacted about her coming to live with them because she was no longer capable of living alone. She didn't want to live with anybody, let's be clear. She wanted to live at home, in her home, alone. Um, but she kept calling the police. And when they got there, she would turn around and pull her dress up and ask the female officer to please help her pull up her depends.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you
Oh,
can't do that, but so many times, and they're going to ask that, that don't happen anymore.
yeah.
And apparently, then she fell inside her broom closet, and nobody came to check on her for 3 days.
Oh no.
So she lived
Okay.
in Florida, and I wasn't contacted until she was actually being asked to leave the second facility they had put her in. She was very combative. She didn't want to be there. She
Yeah.
was very strong, and you know how that kind of thing goes. And
Yeah.
I had always promised her that if I had anything to do with it, she would never go into a facility. So
Mhm.
finally, I was contacted, and I said, "Well, of course, and I went and picked her up, and I cared for her for the last 3 years of her life." Well, because all the other grandchildren were asked first, and they said no, put her in a facility, and she was in the facility, everybody got mad at me because I went and got her. I'm like, well, I'm sorry for you. You had the opportunity to take care of grandma and you said no.
Right.
So, but don't be mad at me because I love her and I had always promised her that she would never have to live in a facility. I wasn't working at the time. This was during the downturn of the economy in the 90s. And I had been looking and searching for a job. And my husband and I made a plan that one would work and the other would stay home. And even when we couldn't because of the economy, I worked days, he worked nights, and we made sure that she was cared for
Yeah.
until she passed. And so, yeah, but I don't, that's why I don't know. I think that at least some of them used to live in the same town that you're in.
Okay.
Not certain, but at any rate, I do know that my mother's sister actually it lives somewhere near Dayton, I believe. So very interesting. We'll see. Maybe we can work that out to where.
Yeah. If I had a spare room, I would offer it to you, but I don't.
Well, see, that was the whole reason for making sure that it was a bedroom in Candy, so that no matter where I went, a hotel expense wouldn't have to be, you know,
Right.
something I had to worry about.
Yeah.
Um, because I very clearly, I'm not trying to make money off of stuff. I have Social Security. I earned that Social Security. There's no, I can make my, you know, everything I need to have. It doesn't do for some extras like glasses,
Hmm.
but everything else is handled. So, yeah, that was what, and again, it was just something I was shown. And whether that timeline has already, come and gone, I don't know. But I was just shown it when we were talking about, you
Well,
know,
good.
yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I was gifted this iPhone, and I understand that these do make pretty good videos. So,
Hmm.
you
That's
know,
what I use for my recordings. I just use my iPhone. I think I might start using my laptop because like the upload videos to YouTube is on on my phone takes a while. So I might start using my laptop, but I haven't taken the time yet to figure out how I'm going to do that. So
I
we'll
gotcha.
see.
So, is your laptop a Mac or is it a PC?
It's a PC.
Yeah. The only reason I asked that is because I think there's an easier way if they're both Apple. And I
Hmm.
really don't know that much about Apple because I never had an Apple until I received this as a gift in 2021. And I don't use any of, I have been live on that, but lives go directly to uh, YouTube. And so there is no upload or download or any of that kind
Yep.
of stuff. Um, and that's one of the reasons why I like using Zoom on my laptop, because if I do a live on my phone in a mobile situation, if I want to keep that video, I have to then download it
Hmm.
because should they decide to shut me down again, I won't
Yeah.
have that. So,
So when you go live on YouTube, it doesn't stay there forever. You have to download it and then,
well, because I use Zoom, I
yeah.
record it to my laptop.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
And so
Yeah.
I have my own copy. YouTube has it, yes, and they can take it down, sure enough. But I've got a backup,
Gotcha.
which is why I do it like that. And it also affords me the ability to upload over to, like, if I'm doing live on Sassy C or Sheila, I can then upload to New Light Streaming Love,
Hmm.
which is how I've been doing, both channels like that. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I used to be able to know, and I don't know if there should be a way that you could plug your iPhone into your laptop directly and take that file off of there, but I don't
Yep.
know
I
exactly.
can do that, but I have 4,000 photos on my phone.
I just helped Lisa with
I
that.
need to do something with it. I know every time I'm like, I sit down and I'm like, okay, I'm going to connect this and I'm going to upload these friggin' photos, get this organized. And then
That
I don't
is
have the
so
time
funny.
for it. I'm doing something else. So,
That is so funny because I just helped Lisa with that too. She had so many because she has years and years and years of
mhm.
photos, right?
Yeah,
And and they were telling her, you don't got any more space. So you got to do something because we ain't saving nothing anymore.
yeah, yep.
So yeah, yep.
I've
Sorry
run
for
into
that.
that.
Yep. And now is yours is an iPhone though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, well, I don't even understand this because I don't take a lot of photos and I don't do a lot of recording on my iPhone. And I was told I didn't have any more space. Oh, but they were all too happy
To
to
sell
rent
it to
me.
you.
Oh, yeah, we can sell
Hmm.
you space in the cloud.
Yeah. But they can't make it simple to clean it up. They can't make it possible. Like, here's the thing that drives me nuts about Apple, and I have to run here pretty soon, but this is the thing that drives me nuts is I want to save photos, I want to save all my paintings for my keys, I want to put them in a folder called the keys and have it be there. No, it's in two places. It's in the folder for the keys and it's in my regular photos. Well, of course, that's creating a bunch of extra data space that I don't need. I don't need to see them in both places. So that kind of stuff, it drives me nuts. And Gmail does the exact same thing. Why is it impossible to delete all of the like junk mail that I get without clicking on every single one?
No,
Who has time for that? I have
no,
like
see,
20,000 emails I've never looked at because it's all crap and I
it,
can't delete it.
and this is exactly why I needed to help Lisa because you can't do that from your phone. The only
Even on my
place,
laptop, I haven't been able to figure it out
oh, well,
for the email. Yeah.
hit me up. I can help you with
Okay.
that because I just got through doing it with Lisa. I'm not actually
Okay.
finished. She has more. But yeah, I'll help you with that. I'll show you what to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because you can do that. It makes it a little easier to do it on the laptop than it does. I'm not a fan of doing stuff on the phone. Man, I want to use this phone for as little as possible. Most of my stuff is done on my laptop. I'm an old-fashioned gal. I don't really know all that much about technology, but what I do know is on the laptop. These things and every single operating system is different. Your operating system, even though it's Apple, is probably different than my operating system, which is Apple,
Yeah.
because I bet we got two different kinds of phone, and
Yeah.
it's different according to the phone you're on.
Yep.
S-
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. And it's even worse on Android. So,
Yeah. I couldn't do Android. Too many bugs in that.
well, I won't keep any further. You got to go. And I really appreciate you so much
I
because
appreciate you too.
I really feel a whole lot better than I
Good.
was feeling.
I'd love to see your face recording again because there have been some things that Jason has written lately, and I'm like, I hope Sheila records this.
Well, if there's something you feel like, please send it to my attention and say, hey, because I'm
Okay.
telling you, I haven't even been looking.
Okay.
So I would have to go back through and look for stuff. So if there's something that you would like to see or anybody else would like
Yeah.
for me to see, because if I get nudged, I'll record it. Now, if I'm not nudged, I won't. But
Which is fine. Yeah.
yeah, no, I know, and I know that you're aware of that, and
Yeah.
so is Jason. Very few. I've actually never told Jason no. If he has something he wants me to record, I will record it
Yeah.
because I'm just so grateful, that he even does that. He very rarely asks me to record something specific.
Yeah.
So yeah, but at any rate. But
Yeah.
if one ever does come up and I feel not to record it, I won't. And
Okay.
because I got to maintain my own integrity.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All
True.
right, my love. Well, thank you so much for everything.
Thank
And
you.
y'all, there will be a link to Julie's YouTube channel in the show more section because you're still recording some of Jason's work as well, right?
Mhm.
So
Yep.
Julie's recording it, plus she's doing her own thing with the paintings, and we're gonna just let me know when you're ready to talk about that.
Yeah. Probably a week or two. Probably a week. We could
Okay.
do a week to 2 weeks at the most. I'm
Okay.
going to get through key 13. That is breaking me through another layer of myself, which of course it's called soul ID.
Ah, okay. Well, that's very interesting in and of itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe what we should do is do that one live.
Yeah. Let's do it live.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So y'all heard it here first. We're going to do that live. And that'll be live on Sassy Seer Sheila, um, because we have to use my Zoom in order to do that. And so if you're a subscriber on Julie's channel and not over here, make sure to subscribe over here too, so that you'll be notified when we go live. And I hope that you will move towards that which draws your attention, because that's clearly an indication that something is there for you. That, at least from my perspective, I cannot unsee that for me. Um, and I can't imagine that it wouldn't be like that for everybody else. Have
Yeah.
a wonderful rest of your day, sweetie.
You too. Thank you.
Till next time.
All right.
Bye.
Take care.